Hey guys, today is a little bit different. We're going to talk about the reconfiguration and consultation service that Medford Knife and Tool recently started offering a few months back. It's pretty much a game changer type of service that they're offering, and it's really different than what Greg has typically done in the past years. So I was contacted by a guy I know in the Netherlands recently saying that he had some knives in the shop being reconfigured and asked if I wanted to review them before they made it all the way back to him. I was like, sure, whatever. And he sent me a couple of pictures of the before, which are not great pictures. I'm going to try to add those in at the end of the video so that you can kind of see the before. But he didn't really have great pictures. You know, he kind of bought them on the secondary market and then had them sent directly to the shop and then had them reconfigured. So I've shown some teaser pictures on Instagram and Facebook here over the last few days of them. So let's just bring one of them out right now. And one of them is the FUK flipper. So I also have my FUK flipper here as a little bit of a comparison between kind of a stock configuration and the reconfigured one. What they did is they resculpted the blade, the scales, and changed the color, upgraded the hardware, and just sharpened it, really. I mean, they didn't change the blade. And then they did the heat anodization on the clip. So I've reviewed this before, and I'll have a link down below of my Medford playlist, so you can go and see the full review on this, on the FUK flipper. So I won't go into all the details on this one. It is still not broken in, so it's not flipping all the way out yet, but Nick told me to hang on to them for a little while because of the whole coronavirus COVID thing. Being in the Netherlands, they've stopped a lot of the shipments into the country, so he wants me to kind of hold on to them until that opens up. So I told him that I would get them broken in before I ship them out. So there's the FUK flipper. And one of the things that he did is he wanted them to all be the same. The other one is a Viper. Again, very similar sculpting, and the coloring is almost spot on. I mean, I think the coloring between all three of these knives is as close as you can get between them, right? Because anodization is not just, hey, spray on gray, spray on blue. There's not an exact science. This one came with a Vulcan blade, and this one, surprisingly out of the box, is pretty well broken in. I will spend some more time with it before sending it back. And I also have my more stock Viper with the, flaming but not the sculpting here as well for comparison. One thing I really do like about the reconfigured Viper is these sculpting and milling that is here on both the stock and the reconfigured. So on mine, these are really not sharp, but really kind of hard edges. And the one that's behind the pocket clip sometimes will grab on my pocket. So it makes it a little bit hard to pull from the pocket. Whereas on this one, they've kind of contoured all of that. And so even the one on the inside of the pocket, this one pulls out of my pocket really easy. And it's a good looking Vulcan blade for sure. I really kind of like this Vulcan. And I've done a full review on this, on the Viper itself. This one does need a little bit of breaking in still. It fires open, but it's a little bit, needs a little bit of work on closing. So I'll get that dialed in for you, Nick, again, before we ship them back. So we'll just put that off to the side. And then the last but not least is a big bad boy Artica. So this one I have not reviewed. So we're going to run through the specs just really quick on this one. It is an overall close length of 5 7/8, overall length of 10 1/8. The blade length is 4.35 with an edge of 3.69. This one's at a D2. The FUK Flipper and the Viper are all at a D2 in this particular batch. And the blade thickness is 1/4 inch on all of these. The weight on this is 12.1 ounces, and the overall thickness is 0.69, and it runs on phosphor bronze washers, as all the Medfords do. Now, one thing I did think that was interesting or to note is it saves about a 1/2 ounce. There's a 1/2 ounce difference between the sculpted FUK and the Viper between my stock. So my stock Viper is 9.5 ounces, and this sculpted one is 9 ounces. My stock FUK is 7.6, and the sculpted one is 7.1. So that just gives, there's about a 1/2 ounce of milling taken out of these titanium scales. I think they did a really good job, Greg and Amy, on these. And Amy was really great. When Nick had talked to them about shipping them to me first, she called and, we chatted because she wanted to make sure that, I knew what was going on and all of that good stuff. So it was kind of nice to chat with her. And so they sent the 3 knives. They sent this tech mat to me as a thank you for doing the video. And then in the box, there's a bunch of other swag stuff that Nick doesn't know about. So we won't tell him what exactly is coming. But there's some other goodies, little doodads in there for you when you finally get this in the Netherlands. So I will put down in the description below the link to the Reconfiguration website. And what it is it's $375. So you buy a plain Jane Viper online on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. You can then send this in, give them $375. I think it is $370, something like that. They'll call you. You'll email back and forth, talk about what you want. There are limitations on what they can do based on what you already have. But they can change the color. They can obviously do all this sculpting. They can upgrade the hardware. This particular Viper already has the newest hardware. If you have the 2-hole hardware, you can upgrade that. So there's a bunch of different options that you can do, and they'll call you and talk about what you're looking for, what they can do, what they can't do once they get your actual knife. Obviously, if you have a PVD blade, you're not going to get that all ground off and be a satin blade, things like that. So there are some limitations, but all in all, it's an amazing service that they can do. One of my other buddies did a Viper, and after I saw his Viper come back, my buddy Kevin, I really thought about sending my Viper in. I mean, this is cool, but to do some sculpting like Kevin's and maybe all blacked out is an option. I don't know. We'll see if I get around to that. But it's a great program that no other knife company that I'm aware of is really offering. So I think it's really kind of a game changer in the industry, and especially with MKT, because it's totally outside of what they normally have done. So they've kind of listened, I think, to everybody over the years of, hey, we want this and hey, we want that. And they're kind of adapting a little bit to what the public has said in so many words. So I hope this helps you out. Like I said, I'll put the link to the legacy service webpage of the MKT website down in the description, as well as a link to my Medford playlist, so you can see the full review on the Viper and on the FUK if you're so interested. And thank you very much to Nick for allowing me to have these in. It was a pleasure to see what they can do out of the Reconfiguration service. And it's kind of fun to break in a new knife, as I haven't been able to break in anything in a while. And then thanks, Amy, for the call and for, working with Nick and I to make this all happen. So thanks a lot for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one.